Welcome back to Ferris Sports Update. Time to check in with Bulldog Tennis, joined by head coach Mark Doren. And Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Rob.
Obviously an exciting day for your team this past weekend. The men off, but the women had a big match, a regular season finale against Saginaw Valley State, and of course a special court dedication that took place prior to the match.
It was a great weekend just for Bulldog Tennis and all. Even though the men were off, they were there experiencing a pretty special weekend, and so it was a great end to our regular season.
Obviously, you had a chance to honor former Ferris State head coach Eddie Luck, who unfortunately passed away last fall, but court number 1 rededicated kind of in his honor, and his family was on hand, along with so many former players and alumni.
Yeah, it was the perfect moment to honor Eddie, to finish the season and have a huge crowd. You know, in all my years here at Ferris, from being a student to a coach to even before that, living nearby, a lot of stories have been told about Eddie Luck, and he touched a lot of people in a lot of different ways, and as a coach, as a mentor, as a friend, and I really think it was great this weekend. I haven't seen that many alumni in the building in a really long time, and they came out in force, and it was really cool.
Obviously, you had a chance to hear from some special people, not only his family, but Scott Schultz, who helped found the PTM program so many years ago, and a lot of people that were instrumental to Ferris State tennis success.
Yeah, to have Scott started out, and he started the PTM program here at Ferris and was one of the first coaches, and just kind of had a huge impact. And for him to come back and take time out to be part of this dedication was great. And just to see so many players come back, and for my players to just see the love that they had and the passion for Ferris tennis. And I mean, how often do you see a group like this, bring it in and yell Bulldogs together? So it was really cool.
Obviously, following that, you still had a match to play, and fortunately for your women's team, had a great afternoon against Saginaw Valley State.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, shout out to Saginaw Valley and their coaches and players who took time out of their warm-up to stop and let us do this court dedication. And then, we usually have loud crowds as far as cheering, but there was a lot of alumni that I hadn't seen in a while and were pretty loud. So for them to be able to play a match in the middle of all that was pretty impressive. But then, to go into it and stay focused, and I thought the ladies really came out strong.
How important was it to get a big win over Saginaw Valley in terms of the seeding and things going in and momentum for the conference tournament?
Yeah, I think the momentum was the important part. Coming off a tough weekend the weekend before, for us to get out and play some good tennis and get back to feeling positive about our game. And I think that we started out really hot. I mean, our 2 and 3 doubles came out just on fire. And our 1 double started slow, but to be able to see them really just dig deep and refocus, it was tough. They were 10 feet from a pretty loud crowd and a lot going on, and they buckled down and played really solid.
You talk about the improvements this team has made over the course of the year, and obviously battled through some injuries, but certainly have made some great strides here since the beginning of the season.
Yeah, we really saw it this weekend to be honest with you, from our seniors who, they've had 4 years of improvement, but the way they stepped up and really showed the things that we've been working on between, not showing here, but Sam Stevenson, Patricia Gomez, Agatha Clack, and Brittany Levenant, they all played some of their best tennis of the year in the last match. And so, for them to go out at a home match and playing their best tennis and going into this weekend is important.
Obviously, the GLIAC tournament ahead this coming weekend, and certainly anybody's tournament. A lot of great teams in the conference this season.
Yeah, and it turned out to be a crazy end of the season for the top of the conference. There's 3 teams that tied with the best record, and Northwood ended up pulling out the regular season championship. And if we are lucky enough to get a win in the first round, we'll play Northwood in the second round, which I'm really excited for. Obviously, they are our tennis rival, and they're a solid team. And even though we just played them a week ago, we feel that that's a match that we can win. So I know the girls are excited. They know and they believe that it's anybody's tournament this weekend. We had a tough match versus Lake State the first time we played them. So obviously, we got to focus on them first. But we know that we can come out victorious like we did last year.
Obviously, to wrap up the day, you also had Senior Day. You mentioned a little bit about those seniors. What have they meant to the success of your program here over the past 4 years?
I mean, they've meant a lot. They were part of the first GLIAC championship in 19 years. And, just to even have that on their resume. But to really finish off this year and be strong is really important. And, me as a coach, they were my first class that I came into, and so they've been with me for 4 years. And so, yeah, just to kind of see them and celebrate them and, to just feel the excitement. Obviously, and Tony had said, there was a lot of excitement on campus this weekend. And they felt it even though, they weren't at the football stadium. They talked about it. They talked about seeing all the alumni on campus from tennis, from football, from just a lot of people going on. And to be able to have their special day in conjunction with just this great energy on campus they were excited.
Obviously a special day to wrap it up, not only with all the things going on, got a big win as well, and nice to play your final regular season match at home.
Yeah, I mean, you'd love to be all the final matches be at home, just to have that excitement and energy. But yeah, it's, you know, we've had a very good, fun season. I was excited that my men's team was there cheering them on because they got to feel that weekend. They didn't get to have a home match without Saginaw Valley having a men's team. But I wanted them to be a part of the weekend just so they could have, you know, the rhythm of still having something on the weekend to look forward to and be a part of. So, you know, we're in the right place where we want to be going into this weekend.
Shifting gears, kind of a good lead into the men's team, and obviously they've had an outstanding season and certainly some big expectations for them as well going into the conference tournament.
Yeah, they know that still, even, you know, with the first loss in 2 years and not winning the regular season, you know, the target's still on our back. We know there's a lot of teams that are going to come for us this weekend, and you know, a lot of teams that want to overtake us in the regional rankings and the national rankings. So the guys, you know, are excited. They know that they're going to have to bring it even more than they did during the regular season. But they're hungry, and they know what they need to do now to, you know, we practiced all week last week. We have a really focused this week, and I think that they're where they need to be.
When you get into a tournament like this where you're playing potentially 3 matches in 3 days for a conference championship, what does it take to be able to focus on one match at a time and kind of move on here in the tournament?
Yeah, that's in women's practice earlier this morning. That's what we talked about. We talked about focus on our nutrition this week, on our sleep. The big thing is sleep. You know, we have 4 seniors that are worried about their finals. They're worried about becoming adults in 2 weeks and having to start their new jobs. And, you know, for the men's team, you know, because of the success, we have a bye the first day, so it'll only be 2 matches. But it's still a lot. You know, it's a very busy weekend at the end of a school year where they're all stressed out and worried about things. So this week it's a lot about time management, and we just talked about just getting good sleep.
Well, Coach, thanks for the time. Congratulations on the win. Best of luck in the GLIAC tournament for both teams this coming weekend.
Yeah, thanks, Ron.
We'll be back with more Ferris Sports Update right after this.